Hello and welcome back to my Minecraft hardcore world, where today we have hit kind of a peak. Every farm that I kind of want to add to this world is in need of villagers, and unfortunately I picked a spot when I started this world where we don't really have any villagers. We've got some pillagers, but we don't have villagers. So today I've made it my quest to find a village and bring them back to the base where I've set up so that we can start making some farms. But of course, I don't want to make them live nowhere, and I definitely don't want to just, shove them in a little hole. So we're going to put them over by this guy. Right along this edge is going to be a little town area. So my concept is that there's going to be houses right along the edge here, and then there's going to be a path down the middle, and then some more houses against the backside of this mountain. So it will create kind of like this little Italian street looking thing. And I think that'll look really nice for kind of an alternative trading hall, really. Everyone always has them set up so that they're more available. But for me, I just want them to look a little comfy, like some actual characters in the video game. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to build the houses, first of all, so they actually have somewhere to stay, and then we'll go kidnap them. So for starters, I need to go find a reference picture really quick for what I want this city to look like. All right, so I've picked a picture, and I've kind of blown up my face camera here real quick, just so I can see if I can focus this enough that you guys can see it. It's kind of, that's a horrible, image, but I don't really know how else to do this. So that's basically going to be what it looks like. And the problem with that is a very flat reference picture. It's all kind of going in a rectangle shape, but the curve along the edge of the water here is very much curvy. So we're going to have to kind of adapt to that picture and see what we can make from it. And I think, just because it's my absolute favorite block palette, obviously because this whole world is made of it, we're gonna go with the classic stone, andesite, and stone bricks, along with dark oak wood. Can't forget the dark oak wood. Very important. So let's go ahead and grab some wood from in here. And then we also need some stone. So we've got some cobblestone in here, some regular stone. Might as well start smelting up this cobblestone as well. Ooh, free iron. So we've got stone bricks, and now we just need some andesite, which luckily we have plenty of. So we also need probably some blackstone for the roofs. And I believe that is it. So we can go ahead and set off over here and start laying out the dimensions that we want this to follow. Actually, good point. There's a gigantic hole over here. I need some dirt. There's a big boy creeper or something when the world spawned, because that thing is a crater. Now we got our dirt. We can go ahead and head right over here. I'm assuming an Enderman placed this one right past Mr. Horsey. And here is the giant creeper hole or something, whatever, created this. And we can kind of just clear along this side and start filling this in real quick. And I'm gonna do it the psychopath way, one layer. Screw it. Alright, so I've gone ahead and cleared out this area, and I kind of cleared out this back area as well against the hill so that we can just have a little bit more room as we're building these outlines for the building. So I think what I'm going to make them out of is andesite, just because that's a little easier to pick up. And of course I've got my reference picture right here with me, so we can go ahead and start building this out. So right now I think I'm just going to do 3 different shapes, and I think I want them all the way against the edge of the water, but I think 3 buildings for now should be okay. Alright, so this looks kind of a little bit confusing right now, but basically what's happening is these 4 squares right here are going to be the first shape, and then it's going to move on, and this is going to be another shape, and this will be the final shape. And I varied them all by just 1 block on the front so that we won't have just a big flat building. I'm going to go ahead and make a crafting table, because of course we need crafting tables everywhere in this world. I feel like I have one at every single build. And then we can go ahead and get some dark oak slabs so we can build some floors in here real quick. Alright, there's the first floor, and the second floor, and finally the third floor. And this kind of makes it a little bit easier to see where each of the structures are going to be. And then next up, we need to make probably some stairs so we can start on the front entry areas. Go with some of those, get some andesite, and of course some stone, and that should be enough to get some stairs going here. And there we go, kind of just some little steps to get into everything. And now we can start building up the walls. And I think, just like the other buildings that we've done so far, I'm going to make each of these corners a dark oak pillar. And 4 on the first floor should probably do the trick, just because I'm going to add a second layer to each of these, so I don't want to make them too tall on the first one. And then of course we got to strip them. Alrighty, and now that the pillars are done, we can go ahead and start filling in all of the walls. So I'm just going to do it just like the other buildings that we've done once again, and just kind of throw in a mixture of these lines, making sure they don't overlap too much, and then just kind of hoping that it turns out looking okay. Just like that. And now I just need to do that for the rest of the walls. And there we go. We've got all of the walls in place and all of the door frames. Let's go find some white concrete because I kind of want to match the top half of this with the house over here. Got some concrete, make some concrete, and hopefully that should be enough to finish this project. So as much as my reference picture is kind of helpful, it's more just for the style that I'm going for because I still want to mimic what these house looks like. So it's not going to look exactly the same. Actually, I should probably block this off for a second so that we can get all this concrete ready and kind of get like a really cool view of the world from up here. Got the pillager outpost, the farm, and we've got the wizard tower, the main base, and of course you can't really see it. You got the little mine shaft that goes down into the nether portal area. And I think that is all I've got, so make sure I'm gonna land in the right spot. Kind of just head on down from here. That was a huge pillar. So now comes the grueling task of cutting this whole thing down. So this will be fun. I'll be here for a minute. And just like that, it is all done. We have a good old amount of concrete to work with now. That was 2.5-ish stacks. So hopefully that should be enough for this project. So I think we're gonna do the white overhanging right here and having another oak log on these corners. Just kind of popped out a little bit. So we can go ahead and fill this in. Okay, so it's a really weird shape right now, but I think that's kind of what it's gonna look like. So now I'm gonna try to fix this kind of having a weird shape by adding the pattern that we had on the house. And I think that helps it out a little bit. So now that we've got the trim around it, it looks still a little bit wonky, but I think that looks a lot better. Next thing we need to do is head back up there and start building up the walls to the second layer. Okay, so let's start with building up some windows here real quick. And there we go. They'll kind of just be little squares on each side. And I think I'm going to leave this side fairly blank, just so that it's not too many windows. And this one gets a double window. Fancy. I must have made this block just a little bit too wide, I guess. Or no, this part's supposed to be a wall, that's why. Okay, I see. So we'll pull this part out, and that will be their window. Okay. And it looks like I'm gonna have to go get some more cobblestone blocks because I am totally out now. Dropped a few back here, but that's not gonna be enough. So let's head back to the base over here. So let's see if this makes enough so that we don't have to go collect some more sand. Yeah, that's probably enough. You know, thinking about it a little bit more now, it probably wasn't the smartest idea to build where I want to put my villagers right next to the pillager outpost, but you know, let's see if we can tower up without these guys shooting me. And there we go. Now we can take all these blocks over here and finish off the walls while these guys are just kind of staring at me. We'll see if we can get this done. And then I think I'm just gonna leave this side just a plain white. And then I'm also going to do just like a classic peak roof for these. And we're almost making it. And I'm not too worried that we ran out because I'm actually going to go through here and kind of like how we did for the wizard tower, I'm going to throw some diorite in there. So we're not going to be totally out of white concrete. Alright, now that it's all nice and textured, I left the front little 2 spots right here so that we can put some flower pots in, but besides that, we can now get started on the roof. You can probably tell because of my background, but I have actually switched locations. I've switched an entire room. I moved downstairs because we finished our basement, which is why this video is out so late, so I apologize for that, but without further ado, let's go ahead and finish off this roof. What I want to do is actually take this bottom layer, I want to make them dark oak stairs because like we did on the main base, I did a main trim with dark oak stairs and I think that looks really good. And now what we just need to do is connect those up, add some black stone stairs to finish off this roof, and I think this should be absolutely done. And I think that's it. I noticed as I was setting up for this video that it kind of looks a little bit funky not having the roof line pop out a little bit. So I'm going to bring it up just one more to match up with the little peak area just on the main solid blocks. And I had just enough. Okay, sweet. Let's go see how that looks after I take down this giant black stone pillar that I've created here. Now that I'm thinking about it, I need to finish off the planters. That's not quite done either. And I've got some dark oak trapdoors here for me. So let's hop back up here again, even though I just took down the pillar. That's okay. Trapdoors on the bottom of this. Oh, I can. Oh, that'll look so much better. Let me do that real quick. And then we can throw this here. And there we go. And then we need to throw in some windows. That was awful. There we go. And that is the build complete. So we are all ready to pack in some villagers, but that is going to have to wait for the next episode because unfortunately I am out of time. So if you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing because I would love to see you in the next video.